First day on the job in St Albans, been looking forward to this. 2 big pitches, slightly different pitches due to the spans, lots to work out. I've already spent the day here working out these steels, the pitches, overall head heights, what's the knock-on effect. Yeah, let's have a little look around. Gonna look forward to this one. Yeah, mate. "6 metre rafters and it's 6x2s. Sometimes we do them a lot less in a rafter length, and there might be an 8x2. And we always say, "Oh, mate, why can't they just be 6x2?" Well, this time I'm saying the opposite. Personally, I feel they should be an 8x2 for these rafters. But where we've got the triples, he's only asking for doubles in the dormer. And personally, I disagree. So I would do 3 because it's going to be the size of that stud wall. We can always put a timber on the side to pick it up. But he wants 8x2s for them. So you'd have to count back to 6x2s. If we use 8x2s, it's going to change the pitch for the 1/3 burst mouth. But if the architect's happy with 6x2s, I'm going to do an 8x2 with a bigger burst mouth, save battening out on the inside. It'll work for the plasterboard line. Any issues, back up. We're going to put a 4x2 down for a pole plate, just burst mouth it into the bottom of the rafters. So I spent the day working these steels out, maximum heights, pitches. So that I needed to work out was what a pair of rafters was going to look like at the front. I've got window at the front here, and I want them pitches of rafters spot on and window in the centre. So I've done a dummy pair of rafters. I've got skim over one side, a cavity, the other side just single skim. But I had to pretend that it's the same both sides, and I just moved a bit of 4x2 in, like I had an imaginary wall with the inside pitched there. Worked out here. Client coming on today. Same builder. Put his angle finder on steel, 54 relief. Put on the rafter, 54 double relief. And we needed that. Velux. We worked out the height of the ceiling, allowing for plasterboard plaster, makeup on the walls, size of Velux, and divided it. So what I want to see is nice, finished, equal plasterboard lines, top and bottom. Now what's important is working out where these walls go. It's all well and good doing the roof and you come to the first fix and you realise you've got a glass shower tray that goes into the Velux. Let's spend the time now and work out how where our walls go and see how it all works. And then you've got time. Like for example, like this, you've got the roof light coming in. The size of the roof light would have been over the walls. So we found the landing and the centre points, and now we realise that we have got to have a smaller roof light to let the light come through. So we start working out this tabletop, and I'm working out parallel. So when it's all plasterboard and all finished, it's all nice equal margins all the way around, and it works well. Roof light, it needs to be spot on stairs. So we're going to do 28mm out for the dotting dab, or 1 metre stairs. That's going to give us our line. We're going to ping the line, work out where the landing is, and then what we do is transfer them lines up to the top of the steels and tabletop. We can run our doubles all the way through, and then we'll know our position for the roof light. A scarf joint in, we've staggered those joints. And what I've done is marked out the rafters on the ridge, we've marked out where the bolts go, I'm going to bolt them up, and I've put the groove in there, same as the pitch of the roof. Reason for, when we come to do the ladders will go straight to the top, soffit goes straight to the point, that ridge will pick it up, and then we do cut the fascia and soffit, cut all the rafter feet, and the backing board will tie the bottom bit in. Made the rod up for the stud walls. So I want to know the minimum and maximum height, see how it works on the outside, ceiling heights, etc. I allowed extra 22mm for it to sit on the joists. Obviously take that off if it's on the flooring. But what did I do? I forgot to add the 22mm. So it's lower, and I did take into consideration for the plasterboard and plasterer. So I'm going to put another plate all the way around the top. Funny how things work out, because that's going to work spot on. We made these walls up the floor, we stood them up, and then we just braced them up, and then we can keep our noggins, Keep everything the same, continuous, checking as we go along. And when we've done the tops, put the plating tight in. If any of the walls slightly harder to get over, we put a ratchet strap from corner to corner. Just give it a little ratchet strap, and they all fell in place. So some of these quadruples, we're in the wrong place. Architect's design, they actually come in a room. Like this one's fine, this one's actually in a wall, but it was this one here. So we've adjusted this to suit, because it was supposed to be over here, and we had a box around it. So we've moved it inside the stud wall, but it makes the span bigger here. So what we're gonna do is just put a flitch beam in, and then you can't argue with that. What we're gonna do today is put these cheeks across, and then I'll put a timber block, so I can start getting this trimmed out. And if you put a block in, you can adjust it and move it. You've got no weight there, and you get it in the right place. So then I'll do a raft above the top, and once I've got a pattern, I can put that in to my trimmer that goes across here, mark it, do the same the other end, and adjust to suit all the plasterboard lines and the pattern. That way, you can cut the whole lot, nice, quick, easy, and spot on. Why do I put that bottom plate in, don't do the studs on the treble? Two reasons. One, it ties it into a perfect triangle, and it ties it all in, and you've got good fixing points on the ply on the outside. Where it's interesting, hip, internal hips, valley hips, shall I say. This roof's 54, this roof's 49. I've done a little 10 plate in there, and this is 57. So, 49, 57, 54. Now we've got to work them hips out. Personally, I would like to put a rafter in and adjust the stills to suit both sides like I have done on these others, but we're governed by these columns. So this is where it's going to get really tricky. So, wider the soffit, smaller the fascia. Bigger the fascia, smaller soffit. Got to make it look in proportion. Also, we've got to think about the guttering. It's got to be big enough fascia for the gutter. Personally, I would like to see the soffit underneath. Client wants it on top. So, got to come up with something. Got to get creative. So I'm going to put a backing board on, because this is all I've got at the 200 mark. I'll put that on there like that, and then I'll do a sprocket through here. I'll just take the edge off the tiles, allow the soffit to sit on here. I've got a backing board for the fascia, take the whip out, I've got good fixing points. By the time we get the upstands in there, should get about 180, 200 fascia in there, lovely. Okay, dormers. The big wall that goes on the front, parallel with the front of the brickwork. Something to really consider and think about is, unless you've got a datum point what goes across through the room to measure off, level down from the stills, then put your plate of the dormers in. Right? Reason being is it'll keep everything square and in line. Also, which is important, is my first rafter I do to work for the ladder on the outside of the blockwork. My second rafter I put in level. So I'll put a level up the blockwork, and let's just say it's leaned 20 mil out. Well, what I do is add 20 mil to the top measurement of my rafter. So what I want to do is keep them in line. So when you come to the trimmers, if any of those trimmers are in the stud walls, everything's square and level. Also, is a good way of getting over things, if you do ever get caught out, there's always a way. Firm pieces, dot and dab. But the most simplest thing is to think about these little details and make the difference. So we're going to do the ladders today, and an easy way of doing these ladders is V-joint the top of the ridge, and when it comes to the bottom, most people know I always put a backing board on with my rafter feet, and the easiest ways to do it is measure the rafter that you've got in place. We know the plumb cut, and there's your measurement. You can tack it to your original rafter, and if you tack the ladder to the rafter, you can mark them both together. I'm going to mark them square and round every 600. Easy, really. Simple as that. Backing board with a sprocket. V-joint ridge. Mark them both at the same time. And that way you don't have any timber straight across. All you got to do is level up to the top, measure out, or use a plumb line from the ridge down to brickwork and measure.